These are the words which, just by hearing them, are turning stopping smoking into something just as easy and as simple as uninstalling an unwanted app from your phone. And you already have good experience of downloading and installing all sorts of apps that later turned out to be not to your liking at all, choosing quickly afterwards to uninstall completely because, as you know very well, some apps are good and some are not, and some are truly appalling. The nicotine app, your smoking app, is the worst of them all, and the cure, complete uninstalling. And so, you know that at some point it was as if you downloaded and installed the nicotine app, your smoking app, not to your phone, but to your own personal operating system, which turned you, quite simply, into a smoker. If your phone were your mind, then this would be your own personal inner control device into which you've downloaded and installed the nicotine app, the thing that is now your smoking app, because at that particular time you must have been persuaded into believing that your life could be made better in some way by trying something that you really knew you shouldn't have, were warned about and you knew about, but anyway, you talked about it to yourself for long enough to convince all your doubting voices that you'd try it only once, then uninstall it straight away. But you didn't quite know how to uninstall it, so you've had to let it stay. And now you've no choice but to say your smoking app is still installed, and here we are today. But it happens to the best of us. This is not a thing of shame, just a problem to be dealt with, to be finished and be done with, and then totally forgotten, with no one, that's right, no one at all to blame. And as you also know very well, when your smoking app is quite simply uninstalled, you break the spell of nicotine addiction and will be free of that curse forevermore. And the good news is any person can easily do that, efficiently and successfully, as you can too, merely by continuing to listen to these words, because when you choose to do this, and this is all you need to do, then freedom will be yours automatically, because you've already started the process that will allow you to disable and disarm, to uninstall your smoking app, the nicotine app, because now you realize that the only reason this addiction still exists is because your smoking app is generating regular reminders, notifications to smoke, which is, of course, all that nicotine addiction is. So, you can, therefore, take that clearly obvious and necessary step to uninstall your smoking app. And as you really like the sound of this, because you'd truly like to do this, so you shall. And in order to do that very thing, all I kindly ask of you is just listen. And so, we can begin. Please close your eyes and just allow your own breath to lead you in by noticing the feeling of the flow, the soft, easy, gentle flow of pure, clean air. What you know is all that should go inside of you. And breathing really is something that you do so very well. So well, in fact, that you can do it perfectly, even when you are gently falling into a wonderfully comfortable sleep. And just the fact a person can choose to become fascinated by the feeling of the flow of your own breath. Nothing more, nothing less. And in this way, breathing gently now, slowly now, deeply now, anticipating wondrous change. The seed already planted in your mind is growing into natural good feeling, giving all those parts of you who first installed your smoking app the chance to find such pure delight in natural, clear breathing, living cleanly once again, just by following the flow of your own gentle breath as you feel it rise and fall. A tried and trusted easy way to uninstall your smoking app. So much easier than you thought. So what you thought was permanent, I promise you, is not. And as you breathe you know that this pure, clean, life-sustaining, gorgeous oxygen truly is all you need to breathe in deeply. A deepening acceptance that deeper feeling brings, that poison smoke makes living less enjoyable and can easily be seen by all parts of you now for what it truly is. Self-harm, a contradiction of being, and no longer wanting anymore to be this way, you can today completely purge and free yourself of nicotine identity just by feeling breathing flow and knowing this is happening. So natural, it happens by itself, and proof of this is noticing the softness of the flow. No need to try to quicken or to slow your breathing down, feeling this sensation, becoming your own breath. Opening awareness brings the obvious to mind, that your relationship unnatural to the poison nicotine can be instantly unraveled, cancelled, uninstalled, made clean, dissolving all remaining angst, resolving all that's dark and wrong. Such a beautiful, desirable, and easily achievable feeling in itself, and not too long to go. So, drifting further inwards into deeper being now, softer and more comfortable, unnoticed in your crossing, noticing so much more gently now as this soft and velvet, sleeping, dreamy feeling means. This change dreams underway. A closer feeling, floating so much closer as you pass on through, beyond the curtain, as it closes far behind you, passing now the point of seeing elsewhere any longer, and sensing inner ways are opening, a letting go, relinquishing, surrendering in all delightful feelings, filling comfort's cup to overflow. You slip away, a fish returning into water through, below, these undiscovered depths of hidden treasure in this unself-conscious voyage into all that's good and true. To make, then take, the chance to do that truly simple thing and bring your being back inside the world of healthy living, giving choice another chance to be again the person that you can, and realizing you now see, and not so very far away, an opening, an entranceway, a most intriguing inward leading passageway to what has to be your golden opportunity that signals now your interest so deep inside this captivating wonderland, the workings of your mind. You understand you're just about to find at last that long-lost door, so long locked fast and sadly inaccessible, where hidden things beyond the realm of everyday awareness, far beneath the mind of normal ways of knowing. Yet, slowing now in finding that, although your eyes are closed, you see the door, your inmost door. You see the key within the lock is turning now, locked fast no more, now opens onto what you truly want and need. The one and only thing to bring about the kind of peace that you have ceaselessly been seeking, to find release in never-ending, gentle breathing feeling, as something inside words themselves, revealing hidden meaning, that you see and sense this situation changing, a natural expansion as now entering the place of change itself, where changes made are permanent and truly sensing now. This feeling feels as real as facts are feelings in themselves. And what more real than real could ever feel is something, this thing, glass-like smooth, metallic and rectangular device placed in your hand, felt for the first time again from before, sometime when you begin to remember with welcome relief now just what this star object is you, so newly, freshly, anciently familiar. Something like your phone, but something else instead. You understand. It's something so much more, so much, much more. There's the aura of power. There's the scent of eternity here. These are qualities far beyond time. Look. The screen is perfection, completely sublime, and it has to be so. And now glowing more brightly as this heavenly jewel just knows you are here. Its response, as expected, reassuringly clear, as you feel now a soft and subtle micro kick of welcome in your palm, solid confirmation of your complete reintegration together at last again. And it shows you it knows you by clearly displaying your name, sign, and symbol behind diamond glass. This missing dimension, precisely essential as its unlocked potential becomes you, and with which and as which successfully finish this task. As it was on this deeply personal device, your own inner controls device, which rests now so reassuringly in your palm, your own individual, preciously exceptional device that you can now, perhaps, even vaguely remember, controls your emotions, your choices, your needs and desires, your hopes and your aims and your dreams, and you have it in hand. Here it is, just like that, just like this, and it just feels so good, so appropriate, fitting, and right, just to feel this safety, so properly, comfortably held, and safely in hand again. And as you can now, look deeply into this gorgeous screen. You cannot help but see your apps are attractive. Your icons are clear, crisp, and sharp, truly appealing to anyone's eye. Yet the icon in the middle, the central, the crucial, is shaded and darkened and dim, as if with that shadow the nub of your trouble, an anchor of angst, and a bubble of poison so grim. This icon is your issue. The nicotine app, your smoking app, the one you installed, your symbol for smoking, your sign for nicotine, an image of horror, disquieting, obscene. And in this now, you can remember the warnings you saw in your mind on this screen. The image, the logo, the trademark half seen, you see now as a shadow, a skeletal shadow, and a hood and a scythe on a pale horse. You know who I mean. And yes, you downloaded this app with hidden symbol of death through the warnings laid out clear enough. Grave danger, highly toxic, social damage, odor, regret. And those were only the words in ordinary type, the ones in bold red uppercase said, self-harm, go back, reject, and the incredulity now at your own sure and certain self, so clear, so crisp, so sharp, in retrospect. But it happens to the best of us. This is not a thing of shame, just a problem to be dealt with, to be finished and be done with, and then totally forgotten, with no one, that's right, no one at all to blame. And there is something else here in very, very small type, as if trying to hide out of view. Smoking is an uglifier. It will damage your looks. It will uglify you. Well, you can't argue with that as it's true, but take heart. It's the thing you're about to completely undo. And as these words are heard by each and every part of you, one part in particular, the part of you who installed the nicotine app, your smoking app, originally. This is the part who hears these words most clearly now. The part who can, kindly and simply, undo what was done and remove this shadow, this darkness, utterly and completely, kindly and simply, turning something truly awful into something truly awesome. And I wonder just how now emotional you can feel about this, as any person would, as you now realize just how close you are to rescuing your life, your health, your very self by simple and straightforward actions, making these universally acceptable changes permanent. As a person such as you can easily do. And as this particular part of you, the part who first downloaded, who first installed this shadowy app, places focus upon this dark icon, it responds. The nicotine app, your smoking app, is responding by opening and filling the screen, revealing so clearly all of your smoking app's options, its controls, and its settings. And they are now fully open, defenseless, exposed, and you can sense, seeing this, can you not, that right now a door has been opened, a level unlocked. You have gained access to where success is assured, because you have managed to jump over the impossible hurdle and arrived at that further shore where you know that now your entire involvement with nicotine and smoking is about to be neutered, disempowered, and totally, completely, absolutely uninstalled. And just because you can sense the unmistakable reality of what this means now, you see the screen on your device so very clearly, focused sharply. Nothing else came close. You see now just how incredibly simple all of this is to undo and be done with right now, for forever. Yes, you do. See, there are only 5 controls, all 5 of which are either on-off switches or those simple, straightforward slider controls that look and work exactly like the volume or the brightness slider control on your mobile phone, which you know how to control without even having to think about it. And so now it becomes so very clear to you, does it not? Just how simple, just how easy it is for any person who has found their inner control device to neuter and disarm, to utterly outwit the nicotine app, your smoking app, for good, and make it obsolete. And when a person sees, as you see now, just how simple and straightforward all of this is, then it isn't any surprise whatsoever that you can, perhaps, begin to sense emotions stirring, rising up, because this means that nicotine can never bother you again. And sensing now the truth of this, realizing what this means, how good does that feel? Encourage it. Absolutely relish it. You can dive right inside the heart of it, because now is the time to focus, as I'd like each part of you to be very clear in your mind and in your heart that you are just about to bring about a transformation symbol of yourself. So, starting now at number 1, the first of 5, which is, as you can see so clearly now, located in the center of this gorgeous screen, a simple human need on-off switch, currently set to on, which means that when you turn this switch to off, which you are just about to do, all need for nicotine just vanishes. Yes, as easily as that. So, please place your focus on this switch. Be ready, and kindly do this now, please. You switch need off. Wonderful. Superb. Success. Your first step to freedom precisely achieved. And yes, as easily as that, negating all and any need for nicotine or the smoking of cigarettes. So now you can accept this success by moving confidently on to the rest. And the next control you see, the second of 5, is a simple slider that controls the level of attachment, both physically and emotionally, that you feel for nicotine or smoking cigarettes. And this slider is currently set at the right of the screen within the addicted zone, as you would imagine. But now, sense, feel, realize that all power here is yours. Know that you can easily, conclusively dissolve all attachment now. And it's ready, and it's waiting. So you can start to do that now. You slide the indicator towards the left-hand side, and in doing so, you are negating all attachment to nicotine and to smoking. And as you do this, can you feel a freeing feeling flooding through the whole of your being, as all attachment is now broken? How wonderful is that? Amazing, incredible, successful, and achieved. You are doing so well. So, the only sensible thing to do is keep on going. And as you can see, the next control, the third of your 5, is the taste and smell slider control, which, as you would imagine, is set to the right at masked. And you can see that your choice is to move that slider all the way to the left until it gets to unmasked. You know what you have to do. Simply move the slider indicator all the way to the far left-hand side of the screen, thus unmasking the taste and the smell of nicotine and revealing its true poisonous nature, its vile and obnoxious flavor and smell. And since you now know exactly what you're doing, I'd like you to begin moving the slider to the left now, please. And perhaps as you do this, you can feel a tingle on your tongue and a tickle in your nose as the indicator moves towards the left-hand side, as you are making it do now. And now you've done that, nicotine, smoking, whichever way that either of you want to see this now, tastes and smells just too poisonous, vile, and dangerous even to contemplate, which means you are doing brilliantly. Nicotine and smoking now taste and smell just too poisonously vile, even now to contemplate. That's thorough. That's final. You've done well. And as you can see, there are only 2 more controls to go, both of which are also simple on-off switches. Nothing can stop you now. And as you can see so clearly now, the second last control is your smoking app's notifications switch, which is, of course, set to on, which is why, as you very well know, you used to get regular notifications in your mind and body of wanting or needing to ingest nicotine, to smoke a cigarette. And it's so simple, so easy, so straightforward for you to just turn your smoking app's notifications off, and you can do that very thing right now, please. Yes, just like that. Good. Excellent. You know, you are killing this. And because of what you have done, the nicotine app, your smoking app, can never create any more notifications from this second onward. And as you're probably beginning to understand, all of this is even easier than I initially said it would be. So, now you do believe, because now you know. You know you can do this, because you are doing this, and so very thoroughly into the bargain, which means there is only one, yes, one control to go, and that control is also a simple on-off switch, which at the moment is set to off. And so, when you turn this switch to on, this will mean that all of the changes that you have made so far, each and every one, will be immediately applied not only to the part of you who started smoking, but also to those parts of you that kept your smoking habit going all this time. And it will also apply to each and every other part of you that ever has existed in the past, or might exist in all the time to come. And in this way, universally future-proofing you against nicotine and smoking in any form whatsoever, physically, mentally, emotionally. So please focus and see this on-off switch now, clearly and unmistakably in the center of your screen. It's set to off. Turn this switch to on now, please. That's right, well done. And you'll more than likely feel a weird sort of dizzy feeling, just briefly, as all these changes you have made permeate now throughout your entire being, transforming every part of you who makes you who you are. So good. So good. I couldn't be more pleased for you. And so, are you feeling confident? Well, you have every reason to be so, because all of these changes mean one thing, and that is that should the smoking app ever be installed again, it wouldn't work at all, other than to taste and smell so vile you just couldn't want to do it. Because now it tastes and smells of the worst thing you can imagine. And you can bring that taste and smell to mind right now, just for a fraction of a second, tasting and smelling of the worst thing. Yes, the worst thing imaginable. And that smell, that odor, that stench is the taste and smell of smoking to you now. the smell of death and dead things, appropriately, don't you think? For now, for evermore. And as this fact registers, please listen. And it's broken the spell. That obnoxious smell has broken the nicotine spell. So never will you smoke again, because you just don't want that anymore. How good is that? Truly, truly wonderful. So now, the final act, the complete and utter uninstallation process, the most exciting and satisfying part of all, the final cut, the end moment where all present and future involvement with this disgustingly horrible, unwanted substance and harmful habit is permanently, irrevocably removed. Focus on the center of your screen, please. See now the uninstall button. The one thing that will end this. And if you're ready to end this, I would like you to kindly press this now, please. Well done. And now you can watch the progress bar steadily and reliably confirm that this now unwanted habit is finally being cleansed from your system. And because of this, as you would imagine, and as anyone might expect, as I speak, and as you watch the uninstallation progress bar steadily and unstoppably fulfill its final function, you can see magically, wonderfully appearing on the screen right in front of you the hearts and the faces of all those you have loved. Emotions rising and deepening, no doubt, as you experience the nicotine app, your smoking app as a whole, now being utterly removed, completely uninstalled from your entire inner system, from your life, from every level of your being. A deep, emotional feeling rising now as you see those faces of those you love and have loved. An emotional intensity so vibrant, the faces on your screen in this rectangle of divine light, standing out now so very clearly, reaching out. You feel you could just fall into their arms right now, feeling that intensely now, fully now, as the last tiny remnants of each and all and every association with smoking and nicotine disappear levels, all departments, all parts, all aspects, from every single cell of your body, rejecting nicotine as your total being, returns now towards a healthy, natural state. So good, so good, so good. And I'll be quiet now for 20 seconds, whilst all of this incredibly wonderful total transformation occurs naturally and completely within you. Great changes are taking place now at a molecular level. Your identity is transforming as your symbol, your own precious symbol, returns at last to that of being a confirmed and contented, happy non-smoker. That's you. And that 20 seconds of me being quiet starts now. So much easier than you thought. And what you thought was a permanent habit, obviously, was not, because it's gone and you are free. Free to be the person that you choose yourself to be. And you can feel this, can you not? Feel now that your nicotine addiction has completely gone. The world has changed, and the world has changed because the facts have changed. And when facts do change, our behavior, understandably, goes through automatic changes too. Of course it does. It's what we do. So, now you see clearly. Now you see well. And now you feel clearly because you feel well. And seeing so clearly, you of course clearly see the reasons why you did the things you did. Understanding and accepting that you no longer do those things because changes such as these are natural and sensible, practical, acceptable, and right. Which is why you very well may have that amazingly wonderful feeling all over and through and through. So, the parts of you who took up smoking can become fully absorbed in fresh, new interests, designed and created and adapted to your new identity by those special parts of you, the parts who truly excel in designing and creating effortlessly, easily, and so well multiple ways of self-protection, safer ways of staying healthy, wealthy, and wise as well. And that is happening now as I continue to speak and you continue to heal. Sense the true reality of this. Realize this sense is what you are now in this new reality. Freshly new and untouched, perfect situation. Your smoking app is uninstalled, and these new facts could only mean, now have to mean, that everything has changed. Your person is new, your symbol refreshed, and newly sparkling with delight, because the nicotine app, your smoking app, is now completely uninstalled. It's gone, and it isn't coming back. Experience true joy today and all the days to come, as they are open now and free of any further burden to your health. There are exciting times ahead, shorn of fear and angst and dread and all those little weeds of worry that grew inside your mind are now fully gone, uprooted, departed, giving space to plant the good seeds of positive vitality, the strong and healthy shoots of life already poking out through the soil of your true being. What you now know is really you, finding peace in your life. And all of this quite simply means that you are now a non-smoker, and something inside senses that. The fundamental aspect of your being now grasps this fact that the world has changed and things are not the way they were before. This deepest part of you, before your face, beyond your name, your inmost self, your very core, now knows a knowledge crystal clear. The world has changed, and new facts mean that here and now is not the way things were before. No longer cool with nicotine. You just don't want it anymore. And that feels good, does it not? The gorgeous feeling of being, feeling, knowing you are free at last. The end of a relationship best forgotten altogether. It had no future. That much is very clear. You just don't want it. You just don't want it to the extent that you will not even feel curious about it. You reject it outright because it's just the sensible thing to do. It's not even worth remarking on, which means the thought of smoking doesn't even register in your conscious mind any longer. Why would it? And what's more, you now feel so much more comfortable within yourself and about yourself, acknowledging and appreciating now these delightful changes in all parts of your mind, your body, your entire being. This turning away from self-harm returns you to natural good feeling, both as one individual and as all parts of this, your being, together. The pure delight of natural, clear breathing, living cleanly once again. And this is just how things naturally are now. Simply this. And so, before you come back to full waking consciousness, I'd like you to just feel this new sense of being, sensing deeply now the happy confidence that, content within yourself as you are, and free of nicotine, you are totally disconnected from smoking and nicotine forever. Feel the immense depth of that importance now. Deeply sense and feel fully metaphysically how absolutely confident you are, and guaranteed to be, because this is who you are. This is just how good you feel quite naturally now. A truly wonderful feeling, like coming home after a long journey and knowing you are safe and that everything is in its rightful place. And so, please, if you would, for me now, do one last thing. Kindly imagine, by practicing in your mind, your life without nicotine. Every situation you can imagine yourself in, every experience, every mood, emotion, attitude, all of which are now free from nicotine. And I'll be quiet now for a full minute, 60 seconds. And those 60 seconds will stretch for as long as you need them to do exactly that, as you practice this wonderful new sense of being happily and contentedly you, because you dear friends are now a non-smoker. And that 60 seconds starts now. Well done. You have been amazing. You now no longer have any interest in smoking. And this is just the way things are now. And why? Well, you found again your inner strength, your self-respect, and your desire to live the best and healthiest life you can. And what's so wonderful about all of this is that it's absolutely normal, and it feels so very fine indeed, does it not? Your zest for life has woken, and you are waking too. Now waking up to the joyful truth that the world has changed. And so, therefore, have you. So good.